Today is December the 4th, 2020. This is the Service Hero Show. 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter and I am your host. This is the show where we share inspiring stories of those that are inspiring others. So let's do this. We have Poe. Poe is here and in the house. Many people know who Poe is. Some people may not. It's like Poe. What's that name, Poe, all about? We're going to be learning about that. However, before that, what we are also going to do is we're going to recognize that we have Helene Wilson. Helene Wilson is here with us. She is the first ambassador of the chat. And she is one of our buddies, one of my buddies. Yes, we all rock. I so agree with you. And she's welcoming you, Poe. So, Poe, that's quite the name.
Hello, Tamara. Yeah, it's an interesting name. There's a little story behind it. It was given to me by actually my granddaughter, who's now 7. But actually, my daughter, who before my granddaughter was born, said, "You're going to be a grandfather. What do you want to be called?" And of course, everybody knows me as Skip Thomas. And so I started. She says, "You want to be Papa or Grandpa?" I was like, "No, those sound like old people. I don't want to be that. I want to be something like a cartoon character, like Barney, the dinosaur. I love you. Something fun." And she goes, "Like what?" Then I said, "Well, how about Skippo?" And so I thought, well, that works. Well, I didn't realize that a 2-year-old can't say Skippo. So when she was started to try to say my name, she shortened it to Poe. So I thought, Skip Thomas is being a film, director, television, media influencer, doing all those things forever. That was an experience, and so I thought, well, what would Poe be? And let's have some fun with that character. So I've got the little steampunk look, and I've got a steampunk guitar kind of over there that's kind of fun. It's in the corner right there, and so I'm doing a lot of just fun stuff, even some kids stuff, but a lot about what's going on with the world as far as just the wake up, and then what do we want instead, and how do we help people navigate through it, which the Tour of Love was a perfect opportunity to participate on something that really is making a difference. So that's Poe. Poe, and so as Poe develops, it's like, well, where did Poe come from? What, besides the obvious story, that's boring. I thought, well, how about Poe's a time traveler? Yeah, and he comes in because I always used to love the Time Machine and Back to the Future. I thought, yeah. So I'll make Poe a time traveler and write songs and music and tell stories as a time traveler. So yeah, that's a new experience. How are you doing? Congratulations on an amazing event.
Thank you. Thank
God,
you.
36 hours straight. And that's
Yes.
not counting all the work before that.
No, and we're going to talk about that because I think it's really important. And in fact, right now, this is another thing. All right, thank you, Carol. I don't know if you can go to Aaron right now. Aaron, the president of E360 TV, Aaron Himes. Let him know we are not live for some reason. Tell him we have clicked it correctly and we should be. And so I would appreciate that. Thank you for all you do. Our assistant producer of this show, assistant for this show, and one of our assistants for 36-hour event. Laughter is rocking all the time. And yes, everyone, hope you are having a great day. Yes. Okay. And Sherry McQueen, grateful that you're here with us, my dear. Grateful. So, thank you for that. I didn't want to overlook it. I just wanted to take care of some business because what you were mentioning about the 36 hours, and we're going to be talking, yes, about the Tour of Love because it's a big deal, and I still have my Tour of Love stuff. And yes, guys, we're going to be talking about some really exciting things coming up in the next couple of days in regards to the Tour of Love. And be watching. Yeah, Sherry, I think you're the one of the ones that voted for the brick wall, and it was brought up that I need to be, like painting love or do really cool things on there. So just wait. We're going to be spicing that up a bit, and I may be switching them up a bit too. So make it fun. Make it fun. And I love it that you were talking about kids' projects and such things, because that's some of the stuff that at some point in time in the future, even with the nonprofit that we were doing the Tour of Love for, we will at some point have projects for kids. And that has always been in the works. However, you got to do one thing at a time and get it going and get it going good. So, before we got, even while we were alive, and thank you for being our director and having such an amazing team of segment directors and producers and everything. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm in Southern California, and in Southern California right now, our cable company is deciding to switch over from the old system that they've been doing. We've had the FiOS and all the different, things and all these different G's and stuff. And now they're going for what they're calling gig. They're calling gig. And and so they've been slowing us down so that we'll be calling them to find out about this gig. And so as we're preparing to get ready to do this, I'm going in and out for days with my internet, in and out for days. And you know that even when you're working with apps, or you're doing any of the graphics, or you're doing any of the preparation work, most things have something to do with being online. And then we had all of our systems in project management, apps, and I can access them, and I'm trying to schedule people, and I'm trying to do all this, and I'm like, okay, I think this is right, and and trying to do as much as I can. And it was what it was a lesson for our teams and for myself. And number one, flexibility. Number two, still being able to have good people and have troubleshooted. Thank goodness, under your direction and everything, we did go through, contingency plans. What if? And if this, then what? Because the last thing we want is to be on air and have nothing going on. And you coming from network TV, you coming from traditional film, you're coming from, this whole area. And then your assistant, Gloria Grace Rand, coming from 20 years of PBS and, a degree in production, TV and network production. Our back team under your direction, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do today's show, is to talk about the prep, and when things are challenging, how do you go about it? And then when you're in the middle of it, they took me down. My internet company did a scheduled maintenance where they closed down our whole grid, and they forgot to tell me about this scheduled maintenance. I'm like,
Oh my. And Barbara jumped in from where she's in Chicago, I think, or somewhere, and picked up the ball and
that
ran with it. And she was
greater
with you
area. Yeah.
with the whole 36 hours. And like you said, Gloria and Aaron, and I mean, my gosh, and then Brooke with all the graphics, and just the entire team, that was just
And
amazing. So
Carol, amazing.
Carol,
I
oh
mean,
my gosh, yes, we just talked about her and with
yeah,
her actually, and
before we
so
went
many of them
live.
had been there
Yeah.
last year during the 36 hours. But the whole tour of love thing was kind of a concept that popped up as an idea and caught not only for a year, but it seems like it's going to go on for a while, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, right. And yes, it evolved within the buddies group, and our network. And at the beginning of the year, and we're going to be having our second annual New Year's Eve bash, online bash. And so put that in your calendar, Poe. And we had a lot of fun doing that. And as we brought in the new year this last year with all the buddies, and we did that on the public side. We're going to have another public party like we did last year. And let's see, you just okay, you should be going. Okay, good to go. Thank you, thank you. I love this team. I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is a lot of how it's done. And so when we had the New Year's Eve party and we went into the new year, we declared 2020 to be the year of love. And we, in the closed group, we had a lot of education and inspiration and fun and bringing in experts and such. And we had a whole series of mindset and journaling and goal setting and intention and what is intention and all of that, and how powerful our words are. And we did a whole collective series at the very beginning of the year around the year of love, and based all of it on love. And then things started happening out there. And it was like, okay, we're going to need a lot more than 1 year. So we declared it to be the decade of love. And it's evolved from there, hasn't it?
Well, and what's needed more? I mean, it was a perfect timing. It was kind of like a vision before its time. I mean, you always need love, but especially as fear has set in and confusion and division as to what do we do, and that spirit of love. If you look around the world with music, that so many, oh my God, the musicians that came together and
Yeah.
expressed really their, and it's not just the love tradition, it's the love of music and the love of art, the love of film, the love
Yeah.
of connection,
Love of
which is the
comedy.
whole
Comedy. Can we talk about
right,
the comedy?
the love of
I mean,
oh my
you
gosh, that was insane. Yes, the I've got a dog that's
and
throwing the ball. It's like
inspiring,
putting the ball. Ah,
and inspiring stories. And I know that some of our buddy stories we actually kind of held off, and they're going to be, and you guys got to stick around this hour because we're going to be talking about where you're going to be hearing and seeing some of those. And you produced quite a few buddy stories and stories of different, either about buddies or some of our buddies that brought in and shared their stories of inspiration. And pretty incredible, right? You talk about love, love of self, love of buddies, love of life, right?
and love of intention, and perhaps even leaving a legacy as to what is a legacy that you want to leave, which is something from your heart, something from your soul. And again, as we ended the 36 hours after and you were still, I want to say still standing, but you were still upright in that chair without falling out, which you probably came close a few times. But the love of what you're doing, of bringing buddies together to help support people in need of cancer, and not go through it alone, to change how cancer is done, and the love for that mission and what you've done to, oh gosh, just further that along to make it possible to have the vision for something so amazing. We So many people bought into that and said, I want to help that. And your nonstop dedication and your love for everybody and your not giving up attitude was infectious, I think, with everybody. And it was really amazing because we did it, with people who no one was getting paid. It was all volunteer, and it was all for a good cause
Right,
and raising
right.
funds and getting buddies. you know.
Absolutely. And so, for those that don't know, you're watching the Service Hero Show. You may be on Roku, you may be on Apple TV, you may be on Amazon Fire TV, you may be on Android TV, you may be watching us via social media right now and the E360 TV platform, possibly on their website. And you produced a video, and it's your voice that talks about what it is that we're doing. Why don't we share that right now, and then we'll continue and talk about the tour of love.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
You know, it's really interesting. Every time I watch that video, I see something else. I watch it a lot, and yet, you know, and at the very end where I'm hugging one of my chemo nurses, because that's my chemo room. That's where I had my treatment. Yes, I went through traditional treatment. Yes, I am one of the original 2 buddies. And that's my doctor that's speaking. And as that's closing, and thank you for your voice and in a way, you know, telling your story through that also. But in that corner is the original chair that actually started this whole thing, because of that chair and me asleep in that chair in that corner and turning bright red and not knowing that I was having a severe allergic reaction and being woke up in that particular chair in the background. I'm thinking, oh, that's the very first time I really noticed it was there in the closing scene in Healing Through Connections. And I'm thinking, how amazing, how beautiful, how appropriate that you talk about legacy and everything. And there it is. There's that chair in the background.
Well, and what happened in that room and in that chair and in that initial experience that you decided to shift with your buddy that you developed really is a great illustration of what's happening and needed on a global level.
Yes.
You know, you went in there and the typical energy was of fear, despair, probably lost hope, and you shifted that. You decided, no, we're going to wear boas, we're going to put on Beach Boy music, we're going to turn this into a celebration and lift the energy of the room. And with what we were talking about earlier with the tour of love and what is needed in this world today and what we're going through, and to navigate through this and come out the other side, really that experience represents exactly what is needed and the reason that this love revolution is so important right now.
Yeah, so true. So true. Oh, by the way, I need a drink of water in my tour of love cup.
Oh, mine's inside the cabin here. Yeah, no, I'm lucky to have it.
Better, you know, it's like love infused. And, you know, and I want to talk about that. And in that, what is it that we do? What is it that we do with the buddies? And people wonder sometimes. And we have a site that right now our technical team is working on because we have had a few issues with it, and so thank goodness they're on top of it, guys. Just, no, we have got the best. We have got the very best people in every one of the categories. And like you said, Poe, every single one of our people are volunteers. And they show up out of the love in their heart and the belief that they have that we collectively can make a difference. And we are. And so, yeah, the tour of love cups and all of this, may I say, wink wink, you can have your own too. We do have a tour of love line that is in we actually have a store. Oh, and one of our volunteers, golly, can I just brag? I can just brag all day long. I am going to be bragging all day long because I can. We have the unbelievable teams. And one of our newer teams this year was our e-magazine team. And the e-magazine team, just to let you know, Kim, is we are still engaged to get our e-magazine up and on as designed, and it's going to be front and center, and we're doing the work for it and going back and auditing every hour, and so that we can have people on demand, because I'm going to be talking with the E360 TV platform, and all of the 36 hours will shortly be loaded into the area where the Tour of Love show starts this Sunday at 9:00 in the morning, noon Eastern. For every week, we're continuing the Tour of Love, and we are going to be gathering together, yes, for a little coffee talk and a little bit of love and more. And one of our newer teams, the e-magazine team, oh my, like I would just put something in there and they would be like right on it. That's hard to find, people that are that dedicated, that loving, that giving, and we have an abundance of it, of them, and teams of them. And you've been here since the beginning. No worries. We'll take care of all of that. I love it. We've got the best team in regards to even making sure that we go global to 80 million screens. You've been here since the beginning, Poe. Just about
before the beginning, actually.
Yeah.
You weren't a nonprofit. You were. We met at a conference where various people were taught to develop nonprofits, and I wasn't even at the time thinking about a nonprofit for myself, which I did later create. But I was filming and working with that team who was putting it on, and you and many others were in the process of creating a nonprofit based on an intention, a passion, a purpose in life, and your purpose related to certainly my experience being a cancer survivor of now over 10 years, and or as Barbara calls it, a cancer conqueror. And but so that caught my attention because I thought, wow, I was 1,200 miles away in Sedona, Arizona. My family was in Arkansas, and I was not sure I wanted to inform anybody in my family, being so far away, what I was going through, because what could they do but worry? And I went through 2 surgeries and lots of treatment. During the process, I think it was probably at least after the first surgery and headed into the second surgery, that through talking to people, and there was nobody other than some friends to talk to, I decided that I should at least give them the opportunity to experience it with me and pray and so forth, and or whatever they wanted to, because my prognosis wasn't good, and I wanted to know more about what my chances were and be able to inform them of something rather than just leave it hanging as to, is it good, bad, and who knows, whatever. And at that point, it was a who knows. But but the need to have a connection to a buddy system really caught my attention, because it is so important not to do this alone. And especially if you have people who have gone through the process, or that is related to what you've experienced or are experiencing, and have a lifeline, so to speak. And then you have a community of people that is there caring for you, and there for support around the world now, is amazing. And that's what's really cool, is how many people have got involved from so many places around the world in this organization and in the Tour of Love. And the level of talent, we have Melissa Manchester, you had Earth, Wind, and Fire band members, you had the #1 top Billboard artist. I mean, on and on.
Yeah, #1, the Guinness World Record fastest woman talker friend, Capo. And I wonder if she's still looking for us in that RV,
Oh, God bless her. Yeah, she was. Boy, that was an interesting adventure for her on her own RV tour.
And I'm going to share another video right now, because we also have original songs that were produced and created, and it's not the very first year we've done that, and yet it is the first year we've actually produced them for the actual event. We've been working on there's a story from that too, and we've been working on original songs for a while. However, this particular one that I'm going to share right now, the opening number from this year, what do you think of how that all came together?
It was amazing. I mean, I was deep in editing, and I'd worked, on other original songs, many, and I thought, my gosh, this all started a week out from the event, and I thought, I can't get involved. I've got so much to do, and I thought, well, I'm just going to send up prayers and hope that a team comes together. And what happened, and you with the lyrics, and Julie Christopher, and the team that you brought
Crystal
together.
Richardson. Yeah,
Crystal, yeah.
Crystal Richardson.
Oh my gosh, she was, and who she brought together, and then the other artists that stepped in, and the voices, that was magical. And the song is amazing. I mean, I find myself singing it and humming it, going, you can't get out of your head. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Well, let's play it. Let's share.
All right.
We are one.
Beautiful. We are the ones. Yes. And that's so true. I mean, what does that mean to you? You were involved. You wrote I mean, those are the lyrics, the mantra for your organization. What does that mean? We are the ones.
Well, yeah, great question, and thank you for asking. And humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love. Humor, hope, heart. Those three words were from the very first meeting in regards to this 501c3 nonprofit, that community that is now global, when we only had two people, myself and my original buddy. And we met with someone that wanted to gift us an image that we've been holding on for the children's program that someday we will have. And we've had that image since the very beginning. So guys, the intention will be we will have a program, but we needed to focus here first. And so to get together with Julie Christopher, Juju, and Crystal Richardson, both of which they were like, okay, we can do this. We can pull this together. Let's have a meeting. And Julie Christopher and I had already been on Service Heroes, and we had kind of been playing with it already. And so I had kind of a concept. And oh my golly, gee willikers, what happened was that I had never imagined, and there's your assistant and one of our, oh my goodness, can I just say, one of the people that made this event happen is Gloria Grace Rand. Thank you for all you've done. We have so many. I don't want to just single out certain people. And Veronica Rosenfeld, thank you for being here. She's actually in Mastering Our Mountains, my very first best-selling book. Can you believe it? So not only in 1 week did I become a best, and it's not about me. However, you asked the question, and you know the story because you've been there, and you are one of my board members. You're over digital platforms and helping with film, and musician yourself, and a songwriter and amazing talent, and here in the very beginning, I was calling you about editing film. I had no idea even how to do it. What software do I use? What do I do? And to then now, 3 years later, where we're out there internationally, had people from all over on with us, had top talent. I mean, even as I'm watching Victor Orlando of the Gap Band and many other, he's been inducted into how many, musical, musical fame, Hall of Fame type places, and his talent incredible. Then you have Brian Thompson, who is a boy genius, literally. He's a genius, and millions of views on YouTube, a huge YouTube phenomenon. Brian Thompson, and has studied with and is said to be the next Kenny G. I mean, listen to his abilities, and they're incredible. And to have them on this song, along with so many others, and I love the sign language piece of it, and the dancing and all of the imagery. What it felt like for me, to be honest, and because you've been there and you've been in those conversations that have sometimes been really great, and sometimes they've been like, okay, we can do this, and to have it come together like that, it was a confirmation of what we set out to do in the very beginning, that we are doing it. And And then when I called and said, okay, we're going to be the next Jerry Lewis Telethon. You're like, okay, all right, what do you need? And that was before you were a board member, but you were a buddy, and you performed on it. Thank you. And supportive. Thank you. And this is our third annual, and we are already scheduled. And save the date. I'm going to bringing this up right now. Save the date, guys, because we already have our images, and we are already preparing for next year. And we will be alive again for 36 hours starting on Cyber Monday, which is November the 29th at noon Pacific, and going through 36 hours into November the 30th, Giving Tuesday 2021. So we are already preparing for next year. And then to think that our buddies are having a show starting on Sunday. That's huge.
Yeah, it really is. And those graphics, I want to really applaud Brooke and her taking that. I mean, we threw some ideas around. She looked and thought, and then she sent all these very groovy 60s style graphics, and it just created really, I mean, the foundation, the platform for the crazy videos that we did with comedy and the dress and the attire and I mean, it became the brand of the Tour of Love, which was so awesome. But I want to get on back to what We Are the Ones, the title of that, because that title is so significant to me because of all the work I did with indigenous tribes around the world, and and one of the prophecies or of the and sayings of the Hopi tribe out in Arizona is that we are the ones we've been waiting for, and so often, especially like with cancer and so forth, we are looking for a cure or an answer or a fix or a savior, or even in this COVID in this world, we're looking for somebody to come and be it a government or a vaccine or this or that, and what the answer is we are the ones.
Yeah.
We are the ones to shift this. We are the ones with our heart and our soul and our vibration and the awakening to the fact that we are the ones, and through love and joy and gratitude and community and connection to nature, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the solution. We are the answer. And so to me, I thought that was even, I mean, more global and broader than just when I saw the name and I saw the words and I heard it, I thought, this is even bigger. I love it. So, and then, yeah, it was perfect.
Thank you. And in fact, okay, so the comedy and the branding and everything, gotta share a couple of things right now. Let's have a little bit of fun, guys.
Gorgeous.
Darling.
I'm Edith from New Jersey.
And I'm Endora from Malibu.
And we're on the Tour of Love. Endora,
I just had a little bit of work done. What do you think?
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
No one will ever know. I got an estimate to get my eyebrows raised. It was only 137 stitches. What do you think?
I love them. We had so many. And guys, the Tour of Love show that we're going to be having on Sundays, we will be continually sharing all of the comedy too. We'll have comedy spots and music spots. And I've got to share one more music spot in regards to, and then I want to talk about this.
Together, we are stronger than sadness. Together, we are stronger than cancer. Together, we are stronger. to change the world with our hearts. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. Human hope, hearts, hearts, love, love, love. Human hope, hearts, hearts, love, love, love. Human hope, hearts, hearts, love, love, love. Human hope, hearts, hearts, love. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. We are one, we are love, we are hope, we are the ones to change the world with our hearts. We are the ones to change the world with our hearts.
This is where I wanted to really talk about the frequency and the whole idea of how, again, the evolution of how we've gotten to the tour of love, because the tour of love is a collective of what we've been doing within the community of the buddies, and healing through connection within the buddies network. And as we started really realizing, as the world was shutting down and it was caving in on people, and we had many of our stage fours starting to say things like, they were questioning, would they even get through it? And we had just made an announcement. You and I had actually gone on saying, okay, yeah, everything's going well in our group. So we're going to slow down, and because we were doing our chats every single night, 7 days a week. And we were going to, make it only 3 days a week. And then all of a sudden, within a week, the pandemic hits, the world is shut down, and we're like, all hands on deck. And not only did we have every single night where we had closed group chats, that's when this Service Hero show came back, because Jason Cisneros said anybody that had a show, and I had 2 seasons of shows, said anybody that has a feel-good show, get them on now. And I went on the next day and then started #TimeToMove. And so that there would be 3 times a day for our buddies to have some kind of, focus. And what we were realizing is that, and this is when we really started talking about, of course, the humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love, concentrating a lot on the love. And everybody showing up and teaching about the frequency of love. And that's one of the, and I wanted to now double back to the question that you had asked and how you had answered it yourself. And I wanted to show this clip to then really bring it home, in that even the instruments that were used, and even the way that you edited it, you had instruments that were keyed in the frequency of healing and love, if you will, and joy, and all of the higher level frequency. You also have the 2 of you and the steampunk Poe, the more in the black and white feel in the log cabin, and you have Julie Christopher, more in her rock and roll kind of look with her spiky hair. And so there's the diversity, and yet the overwhelming feeling that you get from all of it is that one word, love. And the frequency of love really has the power to heal. And you know that more than many because you have filmed all over the world and filmed many of the top thought leaders and people, the scientists that have been dealing with this. And you can even go to Gaia TV and watch one of my assistant, Erin Houchin, shout out to Erin, her very favorite movie out there. And when she found out you were the director and you were in it, she was like, a rock star. He's a rock star. And that's Sacred Journey of the Heart. So yeah, I want to talk about it a little bit more now. The healing aspects and what it is, the frequency, and how we can take it out there to the world and going into 2021 too.
Well, it's you can go a long way, a lot of time on that. First on the song, that was the theme song, and with all the editing, I mean there are dozens of comedies and different things and stories that we were editing. So I was so deep in that I didn't. But Julie, who I love dearly, and she is an amazing talent, beautiful person. Her spiritual gifts, intuitiveness, and that's not even a strong enough word, is off the chart. But I just love her dearly and have such an admiration and respect for her. And so she reached out through you and said, would you do a soft version of that song with me? I said, Julie, the event starts like tomorrow. And I've got so much editing to do. I said, okay, what? She says it's only 3 or 4 chords. I said, okay, that's fine. It's like, but she says, and I tune the guitar in a frequency that's, a very healing frequency. I said 432. She says, oh, I said, yeah. I said, okay. She said, will you do it with me? And of course, what am I going to say? Yes, of course I will. And so I said, send me a video clip, and she did. And so I went over and sat by the fireplace and just kind of composed, did a little composition of how it might look, and try to play along with it. But that frequency of a spiritual journey of the heart, which was, sometimes the longest distance, we'll go to the moon and around the world and travel looking through different gurus and countries and churches and sacred spots and vortexes in Sedona. And sometimes the farthest journey that we go to find that connection is that 18 inches from our head to our heart. And what now science is proving is the power of the heart. And the Institute of Heart Math out in San Jose, California, I went out there and worked with them. And I traveled the world, went to Glastonbury, all over the place, and worked with indigenous tribes about the kind of the ancestral wisdom of our spiritual connection to each other and to the earth, which is that energy of the heart. And we had Candace Whitelight who talked a lot about the Schumann resonance, and it all relates to a frequency that we're all tapped into. And now science, through amazing scientists and doctors and this new science, is proving that the power of prayer, the power of these ancestral traditions and rituals that connect us to each other, to the earth through our heart, that frequency of our heart and the frequency of the earth happens to be exactly the same. So what is being discovered is that this love, love, love is just not some cool, groovy song. It's very scientific and very powerful and very real. And it's changing everything about this shift we're going through in humanity right now, which is part of the prophecies, be it biblical, be it the Mayan calendar, which I was very involved with the end of the Mayan calendar in 2012, and hundreds of cultures gathering in the sacred journey of the heart. If you go to Gaia TV or Gaia.tv, I think it is, or Gaia.com, you can see it. You can watch it there. Very powerful story about how the coherence of our heart and our mind is a place to achieve. Because what happens with all the chaos going on, it's like us having our foot on the gas and the brake at the same time, and we're pushing on it. We've got to get into a flow state, into a coherence. And through music, prayer, comedy, laughter, love, connection, that's the medicine of the future. So yeah.
And thank you for sharing that, because and guys, check it out, Sacred Journey of the Heart. And you're going to understand the power. And one of the things that I have been so thrilled about within our organization and what we've been doing over this last year, and why it is so important for people to understand who we are, and the fact that we are going out there publicly now, because we've been in a closed group, and we did that on purpose, and we did it to protect our buddies, and we will continue to protect them in every which way because they need that. However, we need to be now sharing it out, what it is that we're doing, and because we've got something that's working. It's really working. We see miracles happening so much. We see so many aha moments happening for our volunteers, for our buddies, for, on and on and on. And we really seriously today, more than ever in our lifetime, in the lifetimes of our generational families of humanity, if you will, we need this now. We need love now, the frequency of love now, and we can do this together. So we have the Tour of Love show that is premiering on Sunday. It's a continuation of the 36-hour event. I kept saying, hey, we're not done. We're not done. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of us, and you can have your own cups too. You can go get one. And, wink, wink, they're cool. They're very cool. And we are going to be sharing the humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love. Yes, we keep it simple. However, is it easy? Well, you answer that. You answer that, because I am a believer, and I believe that together anything and all things are possible. What say you, Poe?
Well, it is. It's a choice, and and a lot of it is not being defined by our stories or by our labels or by our conditions. I mean, we've had stage 4 cancer people that we would label ourselves as, I'm a stage 4. You know what? Through love and through being present and redefining what do we want instead, and not just believing, because that's just an opinion with emotion about something we don't know to be true. So it's a knowingness. And when you actually tap into the knowingness, and you actually, it's like prayer. You don't say, "Oh, my Father plays out." No, you pray as if it's actually happening. And when that energy transforms into your life or into what your intention or desires are, it really works. And that's what's happening. And it sounds so complicated, and it's not. It is just getting rid of the clutter and the crap and the chaos, and getting into a flow state, be it meditation or prayer or music or laughter or just love. When you get into that pure essence of that energy, it's really easy.
Oh, yeah.
And it really works.
Oh, yeah. It does. And so get your phones out, get your calendars out, get your, pen, paper, all. Oh, I got to do this. I've got just a few seconds left, but, I'm thinking about that whole pen thing. Here we go. Is this for Pippa Pit? You know, guys, you got to show up on Sunday to find out about that, because we have a lot of fun in our group, don't we?
We do. Yep. There's a story behind it. Not time to go in it, but it's been a story for a long time. It has significance, as does the color purple. So that was great. Well, I'm thrilled to have been here. Thank you for having me.
And, you know, thank you for coming in, and thank you for all you do. And oh my goodness, Ray Ann, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, thinking of you, love you, love you, love to you. And again, I want everybody to put it in their calendars, put it in their phone, write it down, be there on Sundays, and grab your cup of coffee. And oh yeah, if you need a cup, go to the store, CB4L store. It's that easy. CB4L, Chemo Buddies for Life, CB4L.store. All right. Well, we're done for today. And guys, yeah, we're gonna have TGIF Fridays in the closed group tonight. So show up. I'm gonna be getting that link here soon. All right. Well, thank you, Poe, for all you do. And guys, see you on Sunday on the Tour of Love show. Until then.